talking about customer research. Um, Trying to move the screen just a moment. All right, so we'll start with some basic questions just to understand how you know these concepts right now. So we have some basic MCQs, like 3 MCQs we'll go through. What is the primary purpose of conducting customer research and product management? Is it to validate internal assumptions without customer input, or is it to understand the customer needs, pain points, behaviors for better product decisions, or is it to increase the number of product features regardless of customer demand, or is it to replace A/B testing and market experiment entirely? Right. So the right answer is to understand the customer needs, pain points, and behaviors for better product decisions. All right. Second, which of the following is not a common qualitative research method used in customer research? User interview, surveys, focus groups, heat maps. What do you think is the answer? Qualitative, so there is qualitative and then there is quantitative. And the qualitative primarily is where you are doing a primary research, you're going and talking to people. So the answer is dependent on how you understand the, how you interact with the user. So user interviews, surveys, focus groups are instances when, as a product manager, we go talk to the users and we learn information. So those are the ones which qualify as a qualitative research. So for the answer is going to be heat maps. Which is something which you learn based on the actions performed by the user while he's on your website. So answer is D. 3. When should the customer research be conducted in the product development lifecycle? Is it only before launching a new product? Is it B, only after identifying a product market fit? Is it C, throughout the entire life cycle from ideation to product post launch improvement? Or is it D, only during the competitive analysis? What do you think is the answer? We're talking about customer research. When? How often do we do this? Right. So the answer is C, throughout the entire life cycle from ideation to post-launch improvements. So the reason we say this is because the users or the customers' preferences, needs, pain points, they are ever changing. The technology is ever evolving. Just because of that, it's very important for us to be doing continuous discovery, keep learning what's happening in the market, what customers are thinking, what customers are getting exposed to. Based on that, we can accordingly prioritize our product, prioritize the work that needs to be done on the product. All right. So we will move on to understanding why is it important for us to do the customer research. To understand this, we look at the target audience. Whom are we doing this for? Who is our customers really? Is it someone who is a Gen Z? Is it someone who's a millennial? Is it someone who is an elderly? We need to understand who our users are. What could be both could have users who are Gen Z but may not have an elderly, possible. Or it could be that both will maybe later on consider building products for elderly as well, right? So that those could be possibilities. So it's important for us to understand who is our target audience. Second, product validation. It's important for us to validate all the hypotheses that we are building based on our research. Are these hypotheses really right? Are these hypotheses valid? And this can be validated only based on the customer feedback. Third, pain point identification. Only by talking to our customers we can learn about their needs and the pain points. What are those frustrations due to which they are having difficulty, having difficulty with their existing products, or they're having difficulty in a certain journey that they are trying to achieve. So for example, they have a certain goal, maybe from place A to place B they need to be traveling, and in order to do that they may be using different mechanism on a different instances. They may use Ola or Uber, and on some days it might work, some days it might not work. What are those instances in the customer's journey where things are a bit frustrating, where maybe the service provider the vendor over here gets on the nerve of the customer, makes it very difficult for them, makes their life difficult. What those frustrations are, we need to learn that, and that could be maybe an unmet market opportunity which we can solve. Next, customer engagement. We want to ensure, if we have an existing product, we want to ensure that we are able to engage our customers in a better fashion. We are able to keep them hooked up to our website. We are able to ensure that they see they are getting value out of our product, and only by engaging with them, learning how they are using our website, we will be able to ensure our engagement improves. Right. So the next, we will do a bit of a deep dive with respect to the why part. So trying to understand the customer research for strategic reasons. Things that we will try to focus on is the decisions that we do. So, for example, de-risking the decisions, because the decisions that we actually make will result in a whole lot of work for our product team, the development team, and finally the market. It's really important to ensure that we are working on the right risk, we are working on the right problems. So that's one. Second is empathy driven development. We want to ensure that we are empathizing with the needs of the customer. We are able to relate to them. We are able to shadow them, learn as much as we can, and based on that we are able to build the right product. Third, identifying opportunities, trying to uncover, there are different frameworks that we will talk through this presentation. We want to uncover as many hidden needs, opportunities are there through different frameworks. By doing that, we're able to build a certain how might we statements, prioritize problems which we can ideate on. Next, number 4, prioritizing features. We want to build the right product. We want to build, or rather, we want to build products that really are of value to the customer. We don't want to be building on features which may not be so important to them. So, what will be their value proposition? If we build a value proposition, will they like it or not? If we work on a particular product goal, will that be of some value to them or not? So as much as we want to deliver customer value to our users, accordingly we will also be able to generate a business value. Next, user-centric culture, ensuring that we are customer obsessed. We are able to understand the needs and we are able to meet the needs of the customer. So we'll do a bit of a deep dive here. De-risking the product decisions. So there are a few examples that we will talk this through. So for example, we create a decision matrix with respect to, okay, if we are building this feature A and feature B, which particular feature, if we build based on that, we are able to build a certain value. We can see this as an example here, like we are building a feature A and feature B. What kind of impact we are able to bring to the user? Customer value, is it high or is it medium, is it low? What will be the implementation cost? Is it again high or low? So we build our value and effort metrics, and based on that we do a bit of a prioritization here. So you can see we prioritize based on high, medium, low. We also look at what kind of effort that we are going to be putting in. Based on that, we think of the questions. Have we quantified the customer value using the multiple data sources? Have we used all the surveys, interviews, analytics? Have we considered both technical and the market risk? Have we made the decision that will impact our North Star metric? So what really is a North Star metric? So for example, if it is Airbnb, we are talking about maybe it's number of bookings which are happening per day, or it is the number of nights which are happening per day. Let's say it's a number of nights that are being booked on a daily basis. So by adding this particular feature, are we able to impact our North Star metric? Are we able to increase the number of nights booking that's happening on the Airbnb thing? So we need to look from that angle. B, building products customers love. So jobs to be done, interviews. By doing this, we are able to learn different jobs that customers do on a day-to-day basis. It could be a functional job, it could be an emotional job. Like we were taking an example of Ola or Uber. So a functional job could be that I would like to reach the office on time. Emotional job should be that it has to be something, should be a comfortable ride. Social job could be that, okay, while I'm actually riding on this cab, I would also like to share the status of where I am, and if I'm safe or not with my near and dear. And maybe an unmet job could be that, okay, if in case I'm stuck somewhere, or I feel I'm unsafe, can I do an SOS and inform maybe the company and my family that, I'm not safe, I don't feel safe, and come help me, something like that, right? So we want to build products which customers love. So we want to identify the jobs. It has to be something which is more relatable to what they do on a day-to-day basis. C, identifying hidden opportunities. So what we do here is we try going through the data, the qualitative data, and based on this when we talk about qualitative data, we're talking about interviews and the surveys that we do. We will talk more about it. So when we are actually conducting these interviews and the surveys, we get whole lot of data, insights from about the users, what they're saying, what they're thinking, and what they're doing at this point of time. And by using this data, we can basically generate insights, and these insights can later be applied on a affinity diagram, and we can learn what are the emerging themes, and accordingly we can build our product. There are a few examples that we are actually talking about here, so we'll just go through that. We can gather hundreds of customer support tickets, right? And then we can identify what are those things which are getting repeated again and again, and based on that we can learn some themes that are emerging. So for example, most of the users are complaining about ease of use. They are finding difficulty with respect to, let's say, there are certain buttons which may be there, but they are not easy to find. They're not able to navigate easily. So if ease of use might be a bit of a problem, right? Or there might be certain the pricing issues as well. Maybe we are not pricing it well, or just because we are not pricing it well, so people are not too happy about it as well. So we need to basically understand what are those emerging themes that are coming out. What are those emerging themes that that people are talking about, what customers are talking about, and accordingly we can take an action. Right. Next, prioritizing the features. We can use value prioritization and Moscow. And as part of this, we can use different frameworks. Here we are talking about JTBD. As part of this, what we basically do is we look at understanding different jobs that the customers do. What are those critical jobs that matter to them? What jobs that they do from a standpoint of satisfaction. So for example, importance, satisfaction, and frequency we are looking at. How often are they doing that job? Coming back to the job that we were talking about earlier, if they are riding, so they may be riding to office, and they might be wanting to return. So they may use it twice a day. There may be other instances, they may want to go out for dinner, or they may want to be going out to meet the family. So those will be outliers which might still be there, but may not happen so often. So we want to learn those frequencies as well. Next, we do a Moscow on this. Try to understand what's the most important must-have or most essential thing that matters to our target customers. So we try to prioritize based on the Moscow, what the must-have, should-have, could have, and won't have. And based on this, we do the categorization, and accordingly we take this to the product development. Next, we look at creating user-centric loops, wherein in this case we can talk about double diamond kind of a design, where using this we can do a discovery of all the research which is actually happening, synthesize this data using maybe the affinity mapping itself, try to ideate, find out what could be a solution, prototype it, and take it to the customer. A basic MVP could do, and try to then learn what's working, what's not working. As part of this, what matters over here is we want to learn, is the customer feedback actively sought out at different stages of the product development? Are we sharing the customer insight transparently with the entire team or not? Are we empowering the team members to directly interact with the customers? All right. Next, we're going to talk about what is the scope of the customer research. So we are looking at understanding the customer journey. So we can basically build a customer journey map, starting from the awareness to actions that the customer is doing to finally completing the job. So we can take an example of Amazon. If I would want to buy a phone, what are the different steps I would do? Maybe I will do a Google search, and then after that I will maybe go on Amazon, and on Amazon I'm doing a search. I'm trying to do a comparison. I maybe zero on a particular product. I'm doing a further research with respect to maybe feedback, and then finally maybe figure out maybe if there are coupon codes, and maybe then buy the product. So there is some customer journey which the customer is doing at this point of time. We want to learn that journey, and based on those journey we want to find out what those frustrations are, what kind of issues that they face for each of these phases. Empathy mapping is part of the design thinking. We also build that based on our user interviews, qualitative data. We want to identify emerging trends using the STEEP analysis. We'll talk about this. We want to understand the target audience, who are our users based on their behavior. We want to understand the attitudes of the customer. And then we want to evaluate on the product's usability with respect to customer experience. We want to understand the customer's needs, like functional needs, emotional needs, social needs, and unmet. We spoke about this earlier. So we want to learn these needs, and accordingly we can unravel what's working, what's not working, which needs are taken care of, which needs are not taken care of. Are there something that we can maybe work on at this point of time? And basis all this, the intent is to learn the unmet market needs of a particular user group. Right. Next, we're going to be talking about. So we do a deep dive. We're going to do a deep dive on each of these items here. So starting with the scope. So we want to understand our target audience. So we look at technographic examples, behavioral examples, and we look at the agile marketing approach. So if there is an app, and for this app we like to understand who are the users who are using it. If I'm running a marketing campaign, I'd like to learn which are those instances where the users are actually dropping off from using the app. Let's say that they are reaching the purchasing cart, and at which part of the step they are actually dropping off. Is it because of the pricing? Is it due to different reasons? So you like to just learn those. Second, identify customer needs and the pain points. We want to learn them as soon as possible. Third, evaluating the product usability and the user experience. We like to understand, let's say are users spending too much time in going through our product? Are they taking less time? For example, let's take an example of Netflix. For Netflix, it's going to be, let's say there is a customer who is going through, binge watching through a particular series, or maybe has seen a movie. How soon is he able to discover the next video or the next film or the next series immediately? How soon can we give him that information, right? So is he able to easily do it or not? How much time is he taking to learn that, right? Making sense? Right. Assessing the customer's attitudes and the perceptions. We want to understand the sentiment analysis. We can make use of natural language processing. We can go through social media posts, and based on support tickets, we can learn a whole lot of learnings with respect to the sentiment of our users. Next, understanding the customer journey. We spoke about this a bit. So as part of customer journey, there is a visual representation of the customer journey from the start to the end. Using this, we can learn about their thoughts, feelings, and the pain points for each and every stage. So our focus is to basically learn those pain points and understand what is missing. Next, identify the emerging trends. The STEEP framework can be used for this. So by using this, we can learn the social, technological, economic, environmental, and political trends about what the users are doing right now, what opportunities are emerging, what threats are coming from the competition, what technological evolution is happening, what kind of AI implementation are more making sense for your product at this point of time. Based on that, we start making data backed decisions we make and add it to our product development. And finally, it's important for us to integrate all of this into the product life cycle, so we can see a phase by phase view of it. So what we do is basically we do a discovery based on the ethnographic research. We shadow the users. We could also do a research based on qualitative quantitative data. We also do run surveys, and using this, the intention or as part of the definition is to finally define the problem. And using this, we want to design the usability testing with certain metrics. Then we move to the development, where we want to take all this data and we want to make changes, prioritize our work, and try to use all the data, all the user feedback data into our prioritized list of maybe user stories, and make improvements on it, launch the product, and then find out how it is evolving. The next, we can talk about integrating this into our product life cycles. Things we were talking about from a discovery, definition, design phase, development phase, launch phase, and ongoing optimization. We spoke about it just now over here. The next is breaking this all down with respect to different methodologies. We can see this in a flowchart. We have qualitative and the quantitative research methods. As part of qualitative, we have user interviews, focus groups, ethnographic research, and the diary studies. And they're further broken down. And as part of the quantitative research, we have like surveys and the A/B testing. And then we also have website analytics, in-app analytics, and then we can also have customer satisfaction surveys. We can do a deep dive on this, and we'll do it quickly. As part of the qualitative research methods, we can use user interviews, the most important of all, where we are going and talking to the customers. We want to ask them open-ended questions. We want to understand their biggest challenges that they are facing. We cannot directly ask them what your challenges are, but we want to understand their jobs, and based on that we can learn a whole lot of things. Second, we can have focus groups, wherein we can ask in the focus group open-ended questions. We can use different techniques in order to ask questions with respect to, for example, what are the main features you are looking in file storage, or what are those features that are important to you? Why are being able to access from anywhere important to you? So these questions can vary depending upon the problem that you are actually trying to solve. It's important to ensure that you have limited number of questions, not too many questions as well. Otherwise, users may lose interest. It's also important to ensure that you are targeting the right audience. You're interviewing the right target audience. You're trying to get the right audience in the focus groups as well. Then we do ethnographic research, where we do a bit of shadowing, observation. We don't want to we want to basically observe the users while they are actually doing the activity. So for example, if we want to redesign a shopping cart, we want to go to the shop. We want to go to a shopping complex and then see how a shopping cart is actually being used, and see what kind of challenges which different user personas are having. Maybe a mother with a kid is having challenge with respect to maybe putting the baby on the cart and then managing to shop, as well as maybe someone who is a single and still using the cart, and what challenges are they facing. Maybe a mother with a child who is maybe 12-year-old and is a bit maybe mischievous, and so how is he handling the cart. Fourth, diary studies. And as part of the diary studies, we look at trying to basically give the power maybe to the users, and try to give them a diary, basically try to ask them to share their observations with respect to what they are doing on a daily basis. As part of the quantitative research, we look at surveys. We build like 8 to 10 maybe 12, but keep it limited. It could be like a MCQ set of questions. Don't want subjective questions to be asked over here. We want to basically understand the trend, or if we have learned certain information during our interviews, we want to use this opportunity to validate them. We want to also learn the demographics where the problem lies the most. Based on that, we can corner our user persona. A/B testing is again very very important, depending upon where do you stand. Maybe you have a product, and for that particular product you would want to do a A/B testing. Based on that, you want to figure out, maybe play with the buttons, maybe play with the experience, and then see what's working, what's not. Then website analytics, go through the funnel analysis, try to group the users and try to see where those drop-off points are. Try to see understand the user experiences. There are tools which are available through which you can actually see how the users are actually browsing or engaging with the website, and then based on that you can take a call where the heat maps are. Try to learn how they browse, what kind of difficulties are they facing, and based on that optimally make changes to user experience. Fourth, in-app analytics. Try understanding the event tracking and the cohort analysis from a standpoint of the clicks that we basically make within the website. And finally, we want to integrate all of this into our product development. The way we want to do this is, we want to first figure out the actionable personas. We want to develop detailed user personas through our empathy mapping and the journey integration. We want to then do the customer journey mapping. And we want to figure out which are those instances where we want to make the improvements on. Finally, using all of this, we would have identified bunch of problems. It's important for us to prioritize the problems, and then based on that we want to build solutions, ideate, and these solutions will help us decide what we're going to be building in our product. So feature prioritization now plays a key role when we are doing the solutioning. So we take this to RISE scoring. We try to see how important this is for the users, how based on the customer value that we want to give to the users. And finally, we want to take it to the product. Now we want to build the product based on, and this is a continuous process. Based on the customer feedback that we keep getting, we want to continuously keep improving our product. Right. So with this, I like to end the presentation, and if you have any questions, please do share. There are a couple of more case studies I definitely would like to share with you, but considering the time, we will not be able to share it right now. All right. Thank you.